Hello, thank you for tuning in to this week's section of reads. This should be on the YouTube channel James13 Wicca in case you're seeing it somewhere else. I will leave the information like the decks and the dice below. Beyond that, if you'd like a reading from me, shoot me an email, jamesforastral@gmail.com. That's James the number 4, astral@gmail.com. If you're interested in the donation information, that's below as well. Other than that, let's go ahead and get into your selection. Hello Capricorn, thank you very much for tuning in to this week's read. These readings are valid for whenever you come to them. That being said, what do we have for Capricorn? A lot of communication right off the bat. I don't know about that. Now, I saw that card at the end. The Queen of Pentacles. Don't get caught up in the gender, but this might be like... This is one of those situations I feel, take it with a grain of salt, that maybe you're not in control of, but maybe at least for your own viewpoint, you need to be in control of. So how to explain this better? You know what I mean? It's like when you have a job and you have managers and all other good stuff. Technically, they have control of certain things. They don't have control of your perception and what you're going to do next, though. You can literally go somewhere else. You know what I mean? It's almost like bringing that back into control, kind of like, I'm only here for the paycheck. They only get to do certain things, and they don't have control of my whole life just because they give me a paycheck. And it's almost like remembering that. Like, you know, there's only certain things that they're allowed here for certain reasons. Okay, so, oh, that's interesting. I don't think any other card is the same. You have one card that's the same as Virgo's was. It just did Virgo's. And it's in the same position, which is interesting. And I can understand why this would be a very unhappy moment for you. Something, it kind of worked out. You had to do what you had to do. I can see where this could be a job-related thing or something work-related. Could be family. Could be anything. It's a general read, you know. But you felt like you had to go along with something, more than likely to keep the peace. It wasn't like you wanted to do it a certain way. I feel like I just did because I felt like I had to. I know Capricorn is extremely strong, but it's almost like if it was a job, for example, I can understand like somebody like creating an issue that you have to take care of, and it's kind of like, that's not my job, but if I don't do it, it's going to hurt my career. So I'm going to do it. It's not right, but I'm going to make sure they don't forget that I did what I needed to do, and they're going to credit me for that one way or another. Kind of similar with the family thing, like, you know, something happens. It's almost like, you know, somebody's kid maybe in your family needs to get picked up from somebody's house and nobody else can do it, and you're like, well, I'm not going to leave that kid just there because they're a part of my family and I care about them. It's not right that they didn't plan correctly, but I'm not just going to leave that kid high and dry. I'm going to do what needs to be done, but I'm not going to let them forget about it either. Something like that, where it's kind of like, I'll do what needs to be done because it needs to be done, but the way this happened is not right, but I will do it because it needs to be done. And it's of value to me in one sense or another. I feel like there's a conversation that's trying to be had that's not happening. A conversation that's trying to be had that's not happening. You have the Ace of Swords at the top here, which I'll show in a minute, but like there's some type of avoidance going on here with a conversation needs to be had, but it just doesn't happen. The thing is, you might be reading between the lines on this one. Like, all right, kind of reminds me of like when I realized that, like, you know, you have managers at places you work. When you start realizing that they don't really have any power, they're just the grunt for the person above them, or possibly even the person above that. Like, they don't really have power. They're just there to carry out certain orders, basically. So they don't really have much, there's not really much power they have. And when you realize that, it's kind of like, all right, wait a minute. The one I'm dealing with really can't help me, because I have to convince them to go to the person above them, and then maybe even that person to go to a person above them. So the chain here, this isn't working. There's, I don't know about this. There's a certain order of operations, but if that order of operations is flawed, that could be an issue. That, it doesn't matter what I say, it never makes it where it needs to go. Let me think about that. Because you're starting to look a little deeper into the situation. It's almost like somebody's avoiding you, somebody's avoiding having the conversation, but then you're starting to realize, well, wait a minute, maybe they don't have the power to help me anyway. Maybe that's one of the reasons they're avoiding me. And maybe I need to find a different way to handle this. The chain is broken, or the chain is flawed, or something like that. And it doesn't matter how good or how right I do it. If the people above me or the person I'm supposed to hand it off to fails at their part, it doesn't matter how good I've been. It doesn't matter how right I've done it. I feel like this coming in together is kind of like you're figuring something out. You're like, I'm seeing the break in the chain here. Something isn't right. Kind of like back in the day when you had a phone line, if it was damaged, it would error out the sound, and sometimes you wouldn't hear things correctly. Sometimes when you said your message, it wouldn't go through correctly. Like there's an error in the line, if that makes sense. Okay, so this is a moment where I feel like if you're noticing this, there's a lot coming in all at once. There's like 4 cards. There's the Star, the Tower, because I'm like, oh, I don't really like that. But you're like, all right, if that's how it is, it doesn't matter if I like it. I feel like you're immediately going into that section. Kind of like, it's not about liking it. It's about what is it and how do I make it work for me. This is what it is. This is what it is. I cannot like it all day and all night, and I can even complain about it and try to fix it, but like, why should I work on fixing their problem? I need to work on my problem. I'm not here to work on their problem. That's an error with them. No, I'm here to work on my problem, not their problem. So what do I need to do to work around this situation so I can get what I need? Because I'm not here to do work for them. I'm not going to fix their problem. They need to fix their problem. I just need to find a way to make my situation work out. What do I look like? Like, what do I look like here? I don't know where that's coming from. There is a little bit of annoyance, but it's not the worst. It's just kind of like, it's only because I'm looking at the broken chain and I'm just like, first of all, how would I even fix that? Not for nothing. Second of all, no. No, they need to fix their own problem. I need to find what works for me, and they need to worry about their own problem. I'm not here to fix their problem. It's almost like going to a restaurant and it's kind of like they're out of beverages. Well, I'm not going to go to the store and get them a case or 2 of beverages for them to serve. I'll bring my own beverage and take care of myself, but I'm not going to... No, they need to fix their own problem. That's if that makes sense. And I do feel like you're stepping back and you're like, okay, all right, let me think about this for a minute. What do I need, and what realistic possibilities do I have to get what I need without causing too much backlash, or hopefully any backlash? I know there's something else. This is not going to ruin my day. This is not going to screw up my situation. I'm not willing to do that. What is that? Like, where are we coming from? Justice is going to go your way. This may be for more of a mature Capricorn energy, which is probably who's watching this anyway. I have a lot of Capricorns in my family, and I know that sometimes Capricorn, one of the downsides of Capricorn is holding on too long to the point where it doubles back and it kind of works against you. You might be very, very well aware of what's going on here. And it's kind of like, no, I'm not happy with this, but I'm not going to let myself get so upset that I just kind of drill it into the ground because my emotions are taking over. I'm not willing to let that happen. I will make this work. This will not happen. I will find another way to work this out. And if they don't like me, well, I don't like them either. So I don't know where that's coming from. I'm like, well, I don't like them either, so whatever. I'm not willing to let this destroy the situation. You get a moment going forward. What is going on here? Because something it's coming forward again. Whatever happened before, is it literally the same thing? No, but it's similar. I feel like it's probably the same group of people. I think that's the similar part. Happening again, King of Wands, situation happening. You did that before, Capricorn. Now can you do this time? So what is going on here? Because the moment comes in and you're not happy with it, but you're not willing to let it destroy the situation. There is that possibility that it could overwhelm you and you could end up having an issue, and you could get stuck, and it could just be a bad situation. That's a possibility with this. Because I do feel, especially the second time, it is, as I like to say, burning your biscuits, and you're not happy. I really like biscuits. I really hate when they get burned. It really ruins my day. That's a possibility. That could happen. Doesn't have to. You got another option. I feel like I got to be careful with this. This is a little saucy. And I'm not a Capricorn, but what they're showing me, I'm like, okay, I feel like I've done something similar to this. Voyage of the Heart, Queen of Swords, and the Death card. I'll help you, but I'm going to do it in a way that works for me. And I make it purposely uncomfortable for the other person. I don't know where you're going to go with that or what that means to you. I'm not letting the situation pull me down, but I'm making sure the other person is very uncomfortable with what they got to do. Like, it's kind of like, picking up that kid from school or wherever. Like, all right, I'll do that. But for some reason, how do you do that? Like, I'll bring them to the house, but, I'll let them invite 5 friends over too. And when you get home and that house is a wreck, you're cleaning it up and I'm going home. I know it sounds a little rotten, but it's kind of like, oh, you wanted me to pick them up? No, I'm not. You don't want that? Well, that's too bad. When I'm here, it's my rules. When I'm here, it's my rules. If they want to invite 5 friends over, they can do that. And then you can deal with the mess when I go home because I'm not cleaning it up. I don't know. If it's a work situation, I don't know. That's going to be a little different. It's going to depend on your work situation and what you feel is correct. Because I'm feeling like I'm going to make a point one way or another. Like, you want me to do that, do you? I'll do it. I'll do it. And you're going to remember that I did it. Ask me again next time. Let's see where it goes next time. I feel like I'm creating a repercussion for that. I am like, I'm creating a consequence. Like, you just think you can do that, do you? Okay, I'm going to create a consequence. Take it with a grain of salt. Readings are for entertainment purposes only. It's a very salty way to do it. I know that you don't have to do anything. It's just an option. You don't have to do anything. It's a very interesting way to look at it. I'm just like, wow, that is salty. I'm not saying I'm above it. I've done it myself. But, like, nobody gets physically hurt in this direction. But, like, if you're doing a work situation, be careful. It could backlash, I'm just saying. But instead of letting the situation rule you, you find a different way to make your point. You got to do what you feel is right. I feel kind of like readings are for entertainment purposes only. Take it with a mountain's worth of salt. Don't do anything you think is going to get you in trouble, I would say. But I don't know. You got to do what you feel. Because I'm getting this is how the reading is going. And it's kind of like, I'm just making the point. Because I'm not happy with this. And you're going to play this game with me? Okay. Let's play a game then. Let's play a game. You want to play a game? Let's play a game. That's kind of how I feel with it. It's saucy. It's saucy. I feel like this is making a point to somebody that they don't have the control over you that they might think they do. I don't know. I feel like that's reading is for entertainment purposes only. It's the best I can say. I just read the cards as they come out. I'm not seeing it in like a vicious way either, if that makes sense. It's just making a very, very strong point. So like, for example, somebody wants you to pick up their kid and they're just not adhering to their own responsibilities the way they should. Nobody's getting hurt. It's very inconvenient for them, but I don't feel bad about it. Tomorrow will be tomorrow and things will be fine. But they need to realize maybe they need to think a little harder and maybe plan a little better. And if they're going to ask you for help, they better make sure they really need it. Because you'll do it. Everybody will be safe, and that's what's important. But, you know, there'll be repercussions. There will be conflict afterwards if you do this. There will be definitely conflict. So especially if it's a work situation and you do something like that, there will be conflict. Five of Wands, there will. I also see you not bending. I don't see you letting go on that. There is a way to overcome this obstacle. I don't see you playing nice with it either. And when I say that, I mean, I'm not going to act like, oops, it was an accident. No, I did it because I wanted to. Yeah, they're going to get stuck because you're not going to back down with it. You got the Eight of Wands, which is quick, very speedy, and you got the Death card, but reversed, kind of like, no, I'm not gonna budge on this. That's how you. If you're gonna need me, I'm doing it on my terms. You don't like it, find somebody else. They're gonna try to be difficult about it, but there's nothing they can do about it. They're stuck. They're stuck. This also puts you in a bargaining position. Oh, you want me to do it your way? Well, here's things that I want too. Are you going to get me what I want? Here's some things that I want. This is what Capricorn wants. This over here. Can you make that happen? Maybe I can do it your way. I don't know, but I guess I won't know until these things that I want come my way. This is a very saucy one. I kind of like it. I don't know. I'm feeling a little saucy. And when the fogged in, like they have no alternative because Capricorn is extremely responsible. And if they respect Capricorn, Capricorn will respect the situation back in return. If they disrespect Capricorn, well, you're going to get what you deserve. That's just how that goes. I'm getting, this situation can go more your way. You can be more in the power position whether they like it or not. Even though technically you might not be, technically, you can be more in the power position whether they like it or not. Take it with a grain of salt. Readings are for entertainment purposes only. You got to do what you feel is right. That's a salty reading. That is quite salty. I mean, I don't feel bad about it. I don't think anything's wrong with this. And it does feel like you're matching energy. Like if that's how they're treating you, you're matching that energy and you're giving them some of their own medicine. That's kind of how it does feel, the way it's going through. So it reminds me of, I think it's an old adage, but maybe not. You can't win an honorable fight with a dishonorable person. So if you match their rules and that's how they're going to play it, and you play it by their rules, they're not going to like that, but fair is fair, I guess. You do what you think is right. You do what you think is right. All right. I'm going to shut this down here. Hope that helps. Thank you very much for watching. If you'd like a direct reading from me, shoot me an email, jamesforastral@gmail.com. That's James the number 4, astral@gmail.com. If you're interested in the donation information, that's below. Same email. Thanks again for watching. Have a great day.